So this is a historical perspective of the largest drawdowns in Bitcoin's history. Now, in this case, I think what the drawdown we get after, let's say it runs up to any of these numbers, we've looked at 170, 248, all the way to 336. I think the biggest drawdown we get in the next big drawdown is more like 50%. Could be higher than that, could be 60%. Certainly, I think less than 78%, but it all depends on how high we go before the correction. The higher you go, the bigger the price correction in, let's call it 2026. But we have the ETFs now. We have the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. We have, the Sovereign Wealth Fund that could acquire Bitcoin or Bitcoin-related assets. We've got states that have strategic Bitcoin reserves being set up. There is a ton of concrete floor built under the price of Bitcoin that was not there back in 2022. So I think we will see significant dampening of how big the big drawdown is, even in the biggest of big drawdowns. Even if there's a major price correction in 2026, I think that price correction is some number significantly less than 78%. The number that feels right to me is probably 50%. But again, that means if you get that 336,000, it drops to half that before it bounces off and sets a new all-time high subsequently. Or we get to 248,000, it drops to 124,000, which would be half of that. Or 170,000 would drop to a number that actually on a 50% drop was below 100. But if the biggest price increase this cycle is 170, I just don't think we're going to have a huge price correction off that, because that's just not that huge of an uplift as compared to where we are. What everybody wants to say is, wouldn't it be great if it only dropped 5%? It's like, yeah, but that means it's only going to go up after it drops 5% by 20%, 4x. Again, this is not like a hard and fast rule. This has just been surprisingly consistent since 2022. Is that sort of the pain is rewarded by the gain? Bigger pain, bigger gain. Would you rather have a 21% price correction, or followed by a 91% recovery, or a 33% correction followed by a 121% recovery? Or back in the early days, a 94% correction followed by a 62,000% recovery. So the pain equals the gain. You can't get the upside without the volatility. The more painful the volatility, often, again, it's not an absolute predictor, but the greater the pain, the greater the upside. In my opinion, you want volatility. Volatility is vitality. The greater the volatility, the greater potential upside, and the more it tells you are early in the Bitcoin adoption life cycle. So hopefully all this helps. As always, I love sharing anything with you all, and have a great day, everyone. Thanks so much. Bye.